After a full year of editing with the Apple Studio Display daily for hours at a time, I can finally tell you if this thing right here is worth it or not. This is not a spec rundown. This is not an impressions video. This is just my truth of living with it for an entire year now. My name is Joseph Lipson. I like to blend tech and filmmaking into lifestyle type content. So if you're new here, welcome. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps me out, helps the algorithm out, helps this channel out. And if you're coming back to this video, welcome back. Let's get into today's video. When I originally got this, I had a monitor. I had a monitor that I was using daily, and I thought adding this was just gonna add a better monitor. The reason I got it was because at the time I was thinking of quitting my job, and I knew that I was gonna have to jump into the freelance world, jump into the creative world, and right here was gonna be my office, it was gonna be my workplace, it was gonna be where all of my content was getting done. I found myself having to use my MacBook Pro 16-inch display a lot more than I wanted to, simply because the screen was that good. Two things that have really shocked me with this is one, reliability, and two, the speaker system on this. When I talk about reliability, I talk about the fact that I plug this thing in USB-C to my laptop and it connects just like that. I've never had a problem with it connecting. I've never had a problem with power being an issue. Reliability is a very important thing, and this computer has given me that. And we jump into the other side of it and we talk about the speakers. I was really shocked with how good the speakers are, the spatial audio on this. When I got to this computer and I changed the speaker setting to come from this computer and I play music when I edit or I color or whatever it may be, it's really good. When I put on my headphones, it's a whole different experience, but sometimes you just want to listen to your music without anything on your ears, anything in your ears. The fact that I'm able to have great audio out of this, it's surround, it's full, you feel the audio, and that comes in handy when it comes into edits and you're doing layers and layers of audio. Sound effects come into play, music comes into play, dialogue comes into play, all that stuff comes into play. It's extremely helpful that you have speakers that can help you with that. When we talk about creative work, we talk about being an editor, being a colorist, being a creative, creating for this channel. That was the main reason for getting this, was the display. That is the ultimate reason I didn't get a bigger monitor, as I do wish this thing was bigger. I didn't get an ultra wide or any of that, is simply because I wanted, one, I wanted the glass screen, and two, I wanted something that I knew had a track record of accurate colors. I mean, this thing does it. I trust this thing so fully when it comes to color grading videos that I can close my MacBook and I can color grade just on this, and I've gotten to the point where I've dialed in the settings well enough. I've dialed in what I use in DaVinci Resolve, what I use on the MacBook, so when I export and I see it in DaVinci and then I see it on my phone, the colors are that accurate, and that is something that has been very helpful to me. I mean, I've learned how to play with scopes on this thing within DaVinci, vector scopes, color scopes, all of those things. But even to the naked eye, the color on this computer is so accurate. And then the brightness and the resolution, like, I'm not gonna get into the numbers of the nits and the resolution of this thing, but when you go from a plastic screen that I was using like before this, that I've used so much in the past, and you go to something glass like this, it does almost look like you're looking through a window sometimes with how clear everything is. And you really notice the difference. You find yourself pixel peeping at times simply because this monitor's resolution, screen brightness, all of those things is that good. Now, with all the good, there is some bad. Glare and reflections on this thing is horrible. I know they make a nano texture display, but that kind of takes away from some of the colors and some of the resolution. So I think I found a way of fixing my desk to have this thing positioned in a way that I kind of lose the glare and lose the reflections and all of that. But where this thing really shines is when I close these blinds, I turn the lights on in a dim color in this room, and I'm able to control the brightness of this to what I want, and you really feel the zone you step in. And something I've noticed with editing, I've been editing for years. I've been creating for years. I've been doing this creative thing really for a long, long time, professionally and personally. When you get your hands on a good monitor like this, it is extremely hard to go back, and it's extremely obvious on what a bad monitor is and what a crappy resolution is and all of those things. It's something that when I'd edit on this and then I'd go to work at my day job at the Seahawks when I was there, and I'd use a ultra wide whatever screen with plastic, you notice it. You notice the pixelation, you notice all of those things, and it makes this fun to edit on. You want the imagery you create to look the best when you're editing it, because it gives you motivation, it gives you drive to continue to edit it, because that is your product, and having your product come out of camera and what it looks like in camera being relatable to a screen like this, it makes the editing process, it makes the coloring process, it makes the entire process on the sexy things and the unsexy things. It makes it that much more fun because you get to nerd out on different things about the project you're in. So the $1 million question that is continuously asked, that is continuously thought about is this thing worth it today in 2025? Now, I'm gonna say yes right away. This thing comes at a hefty price tag, and I understand that, but if you're someone who is on a computer every single day, you're someone that relies on colors, you're someone that relies on resolution, you're someone that relies on brightness, you're someone that relies on time. When I say time, I talk about the fact that every time I plug this in, it actually plugs in. When you're someone that relies on that, this thing is completely worth it. I mean, there is the Pro XDR display, which is $5,000, but what you're getting out of this at the price this is at is almost a steal. So yeah, any creator I recommend this computer to. And I don't think I would have said that a year ago today, but after using it for a year, after being in this thing for a year and having this thing as my companion for an entire year, I recommend this to any creative, no matter what the price tag is. And sometimes I think, oh, $1,500, $1,600 is expensive. There's sometimes I'm using this thing where I think it should be more money. Now, as we look at this year and we look at the fact that this thing is due for an upgrade, what can it be upgraded with? And a lot of people, including myself, would say 120 hertz, but I haven't really noticed the 60 hertz being an issue. Now, I know if they put 120 hertz, I'd notice how much smoother it is, but it's something that I've been shocked with that I haven't felt an issue with. And that's something that I notice in iPhones, I notice in iPads. I haven't really noticed it with this. As someone who's into tech, as someone who tests tech, this thing took a very little amount of time to test because it just kind of seamlessly became part of my workflow. I might sound like an Apple fanboy, and I kind of am, but I'm talking about this thing in a creative sense and not so much the Apple sense. The ecosystem thing's nice, but the only thing with the ecosystem that is extremely nice is the fact that it connects to my computer seamlessly. Other than that, fully for creative reasons, I absolutely love this thing. This video is just me talking about a piece of tech that has changed my workflow and I believe in, Apple Studio Display. A little bit different than a lot of my other videos, but make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out, it helps the algorithm out, it helps this channel out. Until the next one, peace.